From that as well.
Long way to go.
Happy weekend.
The Channel 8 Storm Alert Team. Severe weather coverage you can trust. Now, from Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News at 5.
Breaking overnight, an arrest has been made in this week's murder in Grand Island, where a team of SWAT troopers finally found the suspect hiding after a standoff shut down a neighborhood.
Plus, former President Donald Trump and his children have been ordered to testify about the family's business practices, what he's accused of illegally misstating to avoid paying taxes.
Plus, President Biden hosting a closed-door meeting on Russia's possible invasion of Ukraine today, what Moscow's troops are now stockpiling that tells experts war is almost certain. Good morning, everyone. We made it to Friday. Thank you for starting your day with us. I'm Katrina Spurl.
Congratulations, everyone. You made it. I'm Andrew Ward. We're going to have more of those top stories here in just a moment. But first, a live look outside our Alvo cameras just after 5 a.m. 26 degrees outside, but things heating up today. Let's head on over to meteorologist Brittany Foster. She's got the latest for us. Brittany, good morning.
Good morning. It'll all get better later today. Right now this morning, yes, it is cold. We have pretty frigid wind chill values. So let's take a look first off at those air temperatures on the southern half of the viewing area. It's currently 27 degrees in Hebron, 27 in Fairbury, as well as in Beatrice. So pretty common temperature out there is those mid to upper 20s. But if you're in the Tri-Cities, you're holding on to the low 30s. A little luckier in Grand Island, 31 degrees with 19 colder in Omaha. Throw in a light breeze this morning around 10 up to 20 miles per hour for some of you. And that is giving us those frigid wind chill values in the teens, and for some of you the single digits. Falls City, you feel like 9 degrees, 7 is what it feels like in Omaha, 15 in the capital city, 22 in Aurora, and a wind chill value of 16 in Kearney. So the wind is back out of the south, notice this morning. That's going to really help us out later today. So while it may be cold right now as you're heading out the door, take a look at later. You definitely want to have those layers you can shed. Highs are back in the upper 50s and maybe even the low 60s. Hello, Friday. I think this is a little Friday treat for us, guys.
All right, can't wait. Thank you, Brittany. Well, breaking overnight, Nebraska State Patrol arrested a man accused of this week's murder in Grand Island.
Here are Facebook posts shared by St. Paul police, who helped capture the suspect during a standoff that lasted about 90 minutes last night. SWAT troopers stormed a property on 7th Street and say they found 34-year-old Donald Anthony hiding inside an attic crawl space. He's since been turned over to Grand Island Police and booked for first-degree murder. Now, earlier this week, 30-year-old Abdullahi Farah was found dead. Authorities say injuries from a sharp object killed him.
We also have an update this morning on the body found at a Lincoln apartment building near 16th and Washington this week. Lincoln police tell us 41-year-old Terry Berry died after suffering serious burns to his body. Despite the injuries, right now they do not believe there was any foul play, but an autopsy has been scheduled. On Wednesday, our crews arrived to find caution tape wrapped all around his apartment building. Neighbors told us they were spooked by all the activity.
I've seen police practice, but not this close to home. Like, this is a pretty quiet neighborhood, and we don't have a lot of no drama and stuff.
And we'll continue to follow this investigation and keep you updated online and on the air.
Well, a former police officer who claims to have confused her taser for a gun when she shot and killed Dante Wrights will be sentenced today. Kim Potter was convicted back in December of first-degree and second-degree manslaughter. The former Minnesota police officer killed Wrights last April after he was pulled over for having expired license tags and an air freshener hanging from his rearview window. Today, Potter will only be sentenced on the most serious charge, which carries a penalty of just over 7 years.
Former President Donald Trump and his children have just over 2 weeks to testify under oath in New York's investigation into his business practices. The state attorney general is investigating whether Trump illegally misstated the value of his assets to get more favorable loans and to avoid paying taxes.
I spend millions of dollars a year for lawyers and for accountants to do my taxes. I mean, they do a great job.
Days ago, the Trumps were dropped by their longtime accounting firm. It said a decade of financial statements compiled with information provided by the Trump organization should no longer be relied upon. Even though the Trumps have been ordered to testify, it doesn't mean they'll say much. When Eric Church was removed 2 years ago as part of the same investigation, he invoked his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination more than 500 times.
And new this morning, attorneys for Nebraska Congressman Jeff Fortenberry are fighting to tell jurors he was set up by federal authorities. But prosecutors contend that would be inappropriate. Ultimately, a judge will determine what the jury is allowed to hear at this trial, which is scheduled to begin March 15th in California. Fortenberry is accused of lying to the FBI as agents were investigating an illegal contribution to his campaign from a foreign national. Fortenberry's lawyers argue the agents were biased against him and that the 9-time congressman was unfairly targeted.
The city of Lincoln is coming under fire once again this morning over more allegations of sexual discrimination. This time, a former Lincoln firefighter who worked with LFR for 7 years has filed a lawsuit. She's claiming she was fired because of her gender and sexual orientation. Jessie Lunville is now the 6th woman accused by the city of, quote, lying or falsifying reports after engaging in protected activity. The city has yet to release a statement about these allegations.
And as of this morning, Russia has roughly 60% of its overall ground forces posted around Ukraine's borders. That's according to the Associated Press, which reports there's still no sign of any of the 150,000 troops leaving, as President Putin has continued to claim. Yesterday, the U.S. issued what many are calling its starkest warning yet, with President Biden saying the risk of a Russian invasion is very high, and every indication is they'll attack in the next few days.
We have reason to believe that they are engaged in a false flag operation to have an excuse to go in.
Warning comes after the shelling of a village in eastern Ukraine this week. Images shared by Ukrainian authorities show children being led away from a local kindergarten that was hit, though none of them were injured. Ukraine has blamed the artillery assault on separatist forces armed and supported by Russia.
Back in Nebraska, UNL has a worldwide reputation for keeping drivers safe.
Channel 8's Nathan Grieve is live to tell us their latest idea.
Yeah, when you drive under a bridge, it takes maybe a second or two, and you're already through it without even realizing what possibly could happen is holding up the bridge anyway. Now, those supports that are holding it up do tend to be right next to you, as you may notice, close enough that you could just reach right out and touch them. Or in a worst case scenario, you could get in an accident and hit them. Now, not only is that obviously going to be bad for you, but it is then bad for the bridge. Now, a team at UNL has had ideas to harden those bridge piers to reduce the damage as much as possible, like a coating that holds that support together.
Holding things together wouldn't necessarily mean that the pier would stand up after an event, but it absorbs a lot of energy by doing that. And so energy that could go into kind of taking apart pieces of the pier is now taken up by that net getting stronger.
Hold up well enough to make repairs quicker, easier, maybe even avoiding shutting down roads to do those repairs. And the best case scenario, of course, then, is keeping that bridge from collapsing, which would certainly cause a lot more damage to other people than the actual accident itself. Now, we'll go into more detail on how they're planning to do that soon.
All right, Nathan Grieve, thank you so much for that live report. And speaking of the University of Nebraska, new data shows just how huge of an impact it has on our state's economy. An independent analysis found for every dollar the university system receives from the federal government, it's able to turn that into $9 for Nebraska's economy. That's a $5.8 billion economic impact every year, which has grown about 30% over the last 3 years alone.
It's one of the largest economic impacts of any university system of any state in the country.
The University of Nebraska system has recently asked for federal funds to help it grow in 8 specific areas, including agriculture and rural health. Officials hope that by adding programs, they can continue to impact the state's economy in a positive way.
Well, 5 dogs were rescued from a shed fire near Hickman. It's a story you only see here on Channel 8. 4 of the 5 dogs had to be resuscitated, and the good news is they're all going to be okay. The fire broke out around 2:30 yesterday afternoon near South 68th and Roca Road. Firth, Bennett, and Southeast fire crews were all there. Officials say fighting a rural fire has its challenges.
So when we're in a rural context where we don't have city water supplying fire hydrants, we have to do what's called rural water supply. So we have basically like a large swimming pool that our tankers or water tenders haul water to and dump. So that was one of the primary things that our mutual aid partners helped us with today.
Officials say no one was injured in the blaze, and the amount of damage and the cause are still being investigated.
Another dog is lucky to be alive this morning after the Omaha Fire Department used a special tool to save it. After rescuing 4 people inside an engulfed home this week, firefighters found an unresponsive dog. In just 5 minutes of using a special snout-shaped oxygen mask, the dog came to and started wagging her tail.
It means a great deal for us to be able to help anybody we come across. That's kind of why we became firefighters. We want to help and make a difference. And we realize that everybody's pet is a part of their family. So they're fur babies that they have. So we want to, anytime that we can help and put oxygen on them or do anything that we can to get them the right help that they need to make sure everyone in their family is doing okay, that makes us feel like we've done our part.
Since 2018, OFD has brought these Fido bags to every call. They were donated by the Omaha Animal Medical Group. Each is equipped with gloves, an oxygen mask, with tubing, extra leashes, and other supplies for treating injured pets.
Well, it'll feel like winter as you head out the door this morning and then spring by the time you head home today. Temperatures will warm back into the upper 50s and even the low 60s. We'll walk through your entire Friday forecast and look at the weekend that's coming up after the break.
Tell-alls from women behind bars.
When she gave birth, she was shackled to the bed.
She was handcuffed. Just an hour after my baby was born, she died in my arms.
New Dr. Phil.
Weekdays at 4 on KLKN TV.
Mr. World knows if you want new glasses at maximum velocity, you don't have to go to extremes. You just have to go to Eyeglass World. Other places fall flat with sluggish tempos, but Eyeglass World's in-store labs keep things upbeat, helping you score custom-made glasses the same day. And how's this for an encore? You can get 2 pairs for $78. So schedule your eye exam online today at eyeglassworld.com, the world's best way to buy glasses.
Children's Hospital and Medical Center. The very best for kids.
Do you cringe when you hear thunder or there's rain in the forecast? A wet basement can rob you of your peace of mind. Since 1994, EP Foundation Repair has been fixing basements. Look to us, as many of your neighbors have.
I come here to do homework because they have free Wi-Fi. They don't say anything as long as I buy something.
When there's a lot of noise, it's hard to focus, but I listen to music to try and drown it out. When the Wi-Fi cuts out, I can't finish my homework. That's why I started getting D's.
Millions of children rely on public Wi-Fi to study. U.S. Cellular is donating up to $13 million in hotspots to help youth in need. Because every child deserves the same opportunity to learn.
Starting Monday, GMA takes you to one of the most extraordinary places on planet Earth. The first live broadcast ever to all of America. From the Galapagos Islands. 5 incredible mornings. Next week only on ABC's Good Morning America.
I'm a club volleyball player and I'm pretty good at it. You know, ball's in the corner and I fling myself and I get it up and everybody's cheering. It just feels so good. But when my feet hurt, it sucks. And it feels like both my sides are just like coming up and they're just ripping the middle of it. I told my mom and she took me into Good Feet, and now I could just run without thinking that my foot's tearing in half. It's way better. My name's Taylor and that's my Good Feet story.
See for yourself with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Find a provider who knows your blood pressure, your cholesterol levels, and your favorite vacation spot. With CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match, you can find a doctor who knows you as well as you do. Because getting healthier starts by getting personal. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com and get matched with the right provider for you.
Fly through L&K, a zero-stress, hassle-free airport. Choose L&K. It's the airport for people who hate airports.
Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome back. We're taking a live look at Denver, Colorado this morning. A beautiful look at the skyline there. Back here in Lincoln, it's just before 5:15, and it is 26 degrees, a chilly start to your Friday morning. And this morning, animal advocates are calling for more to be done to protect bald eagles following a disturbing new report about our national bird.
Nearly half of the bald eagles tested across the U.S. are showing signs of lead poisoning. Harmful toxic levels have been found in the bones of 46% of the birds sampled in 38 states. Even in low doses, lead can impair an eagle's balance, reducing its ability to fly, hunt, and reproduce. The population has already had to rebound from the brink of extinction once before, after the U.S. banned the pesticide DDT back in 1972. Tesla is facing yet another investigation this morning.
Yeah, this time it's over unexpected braking, also called phantom braking. I can't imagine. An estimated 416,000 vehicles could be impacted by this. There are already hundreds of complaints about cars stopping on roads for no apparent reason. So far, no crashes have been reported. Right now, the probe covers the Tesla Model 3 and Y, including the 2021 and 2022 model years. Many owners who filed complaints fear they're going to get into a rear-end crash. This phantom braking has been known to happen repeatedly during a single drive. Well, a rare video game collection uncovered right here in Nebraska is going viral this morning.
That's right. Altogether, it could be worth life-changing money. Channel 8's Yosef Nasser gives us a look at what all the excitement's about.
I've been doing this since I was 19. I'm 39. Half of my life has been just examining where I fit into this.
Chris Thompson is brought to tears just thinking about it.
We are looking at some stuff that you guys might be interested in.
A surprising video game discovery sending shockwaves through the gaming community.
This is the envy of the entire video game collecting community.
Thompson is the owner of a local buy-sell trade store called The Game Room. He says owners of a rare video game collection brought a few items to his store to see what they might be worth.
They weren't 100% sure how big this thing was, but they knew it was a really notable collection.
No kidding. These games have been in storage for more than 25 years after 2 Nebraska gaming stores closed down in the mid-90s. At this early stage in the process, Thompson said it's hard to put a specific valuation on the collection, which contains hundreds of factory-sealed SNES, Sega Genesis, and Saturn games.
That's a factory seal.
A single game could be $50 street value. With a box, it could be a $200 street value. Factory sealed in poor condition could be $1,000 street value. And then a mint perfect, the best known specimen of this could be $100,000.
In other words,
I could liquidate the entire game room and not have enough money to purchase this collection.
the discovery has garnered significant attention online, with major gaming outlets picking up the story and Thompson's video getting more than 52,000 views on YouTube in only 2 days. Thompson says he's assisting the owners who wish to remain anonymous with the process of valuing these games.
This is not a process where you start flipping these on eBay one at a time. This is a process where we get historians and documentarians, and we go through a white glove inspection.
Thompson, who's worked in the gaming industry for 20 years, says he's honored to be a part of this and determined to make sure that the owners get the most out of their rare collection. It's an opportunity that all gaming enthusiasts dream of.
You know, as a kid, I was fascinated with video games and every aspect of them. You know, I played them, I loved them, I had a free playground to try things and fail. Had no idea that that was my future.
I'm not a gamer, but that looks so cool.
Hopefully we can get an update too to see how much all that is worth.
Right, that'd be nice to kind of stick with that story. Man, I said it to you guys, his year's been made. Maybe, I don't know, next several years. He was crying emotional over that. And well, some of you might be crying this morning, internally at least, because it's cold.
Internally.
Smooth transition.
Right, thank you. It's cold out there this morning. We're dealing with temperatures in the 20s, but wind chill values right back down to those single digits. And I do want to point out something kind of interesting as we look around the southern plains. If you remember yesterday where there was that winter snowstorm that pushed through, notice how Kansas City, the actual air temperature, it's colder, 7 degrees there, 11 in Des Moines, 8 in Chicago. There's that little swath of single digits, and they're mainly to the south of us, at least Kansas City. Why are they colder? It's because that snow that's on the ground, making them much colder in the single digits compared to our 20s across Nebraska. So something just interesting I wanted to point out there. We are still feeling chilly this morning, dealing with wind chill values, at least for some, in the single digits. If you step outside in Omaha, it feels like 7 degrees there, 9 in Falls City, more like 15 in Lincoln, 21 in Aurora. This is thanks to that wind now coming out of the south. And while it is giving us cold wind chill values this morning, it's going to work wonders for us later today, helping bring in that warmer air. And it's going to feel like spring as we head into the afternoon. Upper 40s by 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, upper 50s, and I even think a few 60s across southeast Nebraska. So fantastic weather on this Friday to spend some time outside. Once you're off later today, we'll also see plenty of sunshine and breezy conditions at times. It won't be gusty 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts the entire day, but we will have some of those thrown in every so many hours. And I'm really thinking specifically around 2 to 4, 5 o'clock-ish, we could see those wind gusts above 30 miles per hour before they start to calm down into the evening hours, with some spots still a little gusty, maybe up to the north around Wahoo and Omaha. So breezy at times today, but hey, it's going to be nice in those 60s. Great if you have any Friday night plans. We'll still be in the upper 40s by 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock. That's finally when those upper 30s start to appear, but we really drop into the early morning hours for your Saturday. Back into the teens, 17 degrees, cold and quiet, and it's all thanks to that cold front that we're expecting to move through overnight tonight. That will briefly give us one cooler day this weekend, at least on the chilly side, maybe mid-40s Saturday, but we're right back up to the 60s on Sunday. That is the best day this weekend. 65 degrees, feeling really like spring on Sunday with great conditions ahead, even at least for Monday this upcoming week. Now beyond that, temperatures drop. We still are expecting the frigid start to really temperatures as we look at next week. Overnight lows back in the single digits. We could see wind chill values the next few mornings at next week around 15 to 30 degrees below zero. So get ready to go from the 60s to below zero wind chill values.
Time. It can't just be like a little slowly. Drop. Exactly.
30 yesterday, 60 today, 45 tomorrow, 65 Sunday, up and down.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. All right, thank you, Brittany. Well, if you're getting ready right now, hold off on the deodorant.
That's right. Coming up, why a popular brand is asking you to throw their products out this morning. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Coming back from a serious injury is a win that requires teamwork. At Berry Law, we're in it to win it.
Kraft means something. Kraft means house barbecue sauce and creamy coleslaw. Come try our new Memphis-style barbecue chicken sandwich, part of our Kraft sandwich lineup. Slim chickens, fresh, delicious chicken.
High prices hurting Americans.
This is probably the worst year I've seen in a long time with prices going up.
And the tricks one local family is using to make ends meet. Monday night on Channel 8 News.
Celebrate great savings during Ernie's and Ceresco's President's Day sale. Shop historic savings on furniture, mattresses, flooring, appliances, electronics, and Connecticut water systems. Save up to $800 on Stearns & Foster adjustable mattress sets. Rebates up to $2,000 on cafe appliances. The President's Day flooring sale is a great time to give your home a refreshing and affordable new look. It's one-stop shopping for your home with historic savings, plus up to 48 months special financing. The President's Day sale at Ernie's and Ceresco and Ernie's Mattress First, Lincoln.
Raynor Doors of Nebraska, a garage door company that served Lincoln and the surrounding communities for years. Whether you have repairs or need a new or replacement garage door,
Raynor Doors of Nebraska, your trusted garage door expert since 1996. Make sure you get a Raynor door today.
Seasons change, but your land stays the same. You need the right solutions to keep you moving. That's why you rely on Acres Equipment, your Nebraska-owned premier John Deere dealership. Whether you're harvesting, protecting your crops, feeding the herd, maintaining your lawn, improving your business, or letting off some steam, Acres has what you need to get the job done. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Green's Furnace and Plumbing has been a familiar Lincoln institution offering 24/7 service for over 95 years. Swing by to check out our deals and financing on Lennox furnaces and air conditioners. Get the customized comforts you deserve from Green's, your local Lennox dealer.
Do you struggle to keep your New Year resolution? Let Limitless Male help you build back a better you by replacing the hormones you've lost with age. Our mission is to get every man feeling like himself again. Complimentary consult at limitlessmale.com.
In the last few years, has Dr. Ouchie hurt your credit? If so, Lincoln's #1 credit builder and rebuilder, Kia of Lincoln, is ready to help. Get the vehicle you want and the credit you deserve at Kia of Lincoln, 1145 North 48th Street.
Coming back from a serious injury is a win that requires teamwork. At Berry Law, we're in it to win it.
We want to connect with you. Breaking news, weather videos, snapshots from your life. Share with us in seconds. Just download the KLKN TV app and look for Submit News and Photos in the main menu. Upload or message us your story idea instantly.
Welcome back, everyone. You're taking a live look at our Showens roofing camera in Beatrice. A heat wave down south, 27 degrees in Beatrice. Back here in Lincoln, just 1 degree cooler, 26 degrees. It is just before 5:25 a.m. Well, we have some important recalls to warn you about this morning, as you may be about to use one of those products before heading out the door.
2 kinds of deodorants are being recalled due to concerns about a cancer-causing chemical. HRB Brands is recalling 4 types of Brut deodorant sprays and 2 types of Sure antiperspirant sprays. Officials say unexpected levels of the cancer-causing chemical benzene were discovered in the propellant using for the spray cans. So look for an expiration date on or before August 2023. The FDA says to throw the product away.
And some candles are being recalled as well this morning. Anthropology says it has received reports of some of their anecdote candles flaming up and breaking apart while in use. So far, no injuries have been reported, but you have any of these scents, fireside chats, weekend getaways, sweater weather, and fall feels, go ahead and bring them back to the store for a full refund.
Today is day 2 of the state wrestling meet, which includes the first ever NSAA sanctioned competition for girls. Hundreds of wrestlers already took the mat yesterday from the CHI Health Center in Omaha, and Channel 8's Kelsey Casper will have complete coverage, bringing us all the action at 5, 6, and 10 tonight. And for a quick look at our forecast now, here's meteorologist Brittany Foster.
We're going to take a quick look at the next 24 hours because we are in for a pretty big temperature swing within that time. Cold this morning, but we are dry, so easy morning commute. 7 to 17 will be your sunrise time, and you will see the sunrise as we have pretty clear skies out there. A nice breeze on top of it. Wind speeds around 10 all the way up to 20 miles per hour this morning, so a decent breeze with temperatures in the 20s. It's giving us wind chill values in the teens and single digits for at least 2 of you. Feels like 9 in Fall City, 15 in Lincoln, 16 in Kearney, 20 in Columbus, 17 in Beatrice. But take a look at later today. Quickly warming, upper 30s, low 40s by 11 o'clock. As for highs today, upper 50s, low 60s. So feeling like spring today, a little cooler for your Saturday in the mid 40s, but we are back to the 60s by Sunday. A really nice weekend forecast on the way. Big drop in temperatures ahead next week. We'll take a look at that in your full forecast.
All right, talk to you then. Thank you, Brittany. Still ahead, a Nebraska lawmaker wants to make sure every student in the state learns about the Holocaust.
Coming up, why supporters say the subject has no business but being optional.
Salvage Warehouse has the best selection of new and used household appliances. Delivery and installation is available along with a full warranty offered on every appliance sold. Stop by today for the income tax sale and receive up to 25% off on all items at Salvage Warehouse.
Next live, go to uncharted territory with Tom Holland from Uncharted.
Oh God!
Wow.
Weekdays at 9 on KLKN TV.
Elegance and style go a long way in accenting your home, and so does the smile that stays with it. Our job is to take the worry out of the work and find that style and smile to match. Carpets Direct, 48th and Highway 2, Lincoln.
Hi, I'm Joe Montana. When you get to be 65, you have little patience for nonsense and inefficiency. You know what works, and you become a pro at pretty much everything. That's why when I qualified for Medicare, I went with WellCare. With no cost or low monthly premium plans and no primary care or prescription copays, they're pros at helping you keep more money in your pocket. Other benefits include an over-the-counter allowance for items like toothpaste, cold remedies, mouthwash, a flex card to pay for extra dental, vision, and hearing expenses, even give-back plans that send money directly to your Social Security check.
You heard it straight from Joe the Pro Montana himself, legendary quarterback and actual WellCare member. WellCare is a no-nonsense Medicare insurance provider that's committed to giving you great benefits, like $0 or low monthly premiums, and $0 or low copays on prescriptions and primary care visits, just to name a few. And all of that comes without any of the hassle.
So beat that.
Don't wait. Be like Joe the Pro and make the right call.
WellCare gets it. They get rid of all the hassles and give us the great benefits that we want.
Dial the number on your screen now to request a free WellCare guide today, or visit our website at enrollwellcare.com. That's enrollwellcare.com. WellCare. It's Medicare done well.
Salvage Warehouse has the best selection of new and used furniture for every room. We offer a wide variety of furniture options, including new mattresses available in all sizes. Stop by today for the income tax sale and receive up to 25% off on all items at Salvage Warehouse.
Now, from Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News at 5.
With COVID cases plummeting across our state, Governor Pete Ricketts is calling for fewer restrictions, while hospitals are wishing he'd tone it down a notch.
Plus, a local school district is about to make masks optional again in most places, while your little ones still won't be able to leave home without one.
Plus, the National Guard getting a mission most recruits never even considered, why they're being deployed to schools around the country this morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for starting your Friday with us. I'm Katrina Spurl.
Give yourself a pat on the back, everyone. You made it to Friday. I'm Andrew Ward. We're going to have more on those stories here in just a moment. But first, let's take a live look at New Orleans this morning. Kind of quiet there. Back here in Lincoln, it's just after 5:30. It's 26 degrees. Let's head on over to meteorologist Brittany Foster. Boy, he's got a good one cooked up for us today.
Yes, the 60s maybe today. A little bit warmer out there compared to what we saw the last few days, and now of course it is chilly this morning, so let's go ahead and start off looking at those temperatures around the Tri-Cities. First off, Green Island, you're at 31 degrees. It's in the 20s for Elm Creek, 28 degrees there, 30 in Doniphan. So zooming out, looking at everyone, we're pretty much in the same case. If you're in the mid-20s, and you're also maybe in the upper 30s further off to the west, or the teens if you're in Omaha, that's where it's 19 degrees. So definitely feeling like winter this morning. A little bit of a breeze out there, up to 20 miles per hour for some of you. It is making it feel much colder though. Instead of the 20s and 30s, more like the single digits and teens. We're waking up in Lincoln to a wind chill value right now at least of 15 degrees, 14 in Nebraska City, 20 in Hastings, 7 that's in Omaha, 9 in Falls City. So one of those mornings you need to have your winter coats on, but later today you can shed a lot of those layers, because by 12 o'clock we'll be in the upper 40s, and then by around 3 o'clock when we're reaching our highs, low 60s. I think for some of us, definitely the upper 50s. Fantastic Friday weather. I think you're going to like at least one of the days on the weekend forecast. We'll break that all down coming up in just a few.
All right, can't wait for that. Thank you, Brittany. Breaking overnight, Nebraska State Patrol arrested a man accused of this week's murder in Grand Island.
Yeah, we're getting our first look at the suspect's mugshot from the Hall County Department of Corrections. This is 34-year-old Donald Anthony. St. Paul police helped capture him during a standoff that lasted about 90 minutes last night. SWAT troopers stormed a property on 7th Street and say they found him hiding inside an attic crawl space. He's since been turned over to Grand Island police and booked for first-degree murder. Earlier this week, 30-year-old Abdullahi Farah was found dead. Authorities say injuries from a sharp object killed him.
This morning, Governor Pete Ricketts is urging fewer restrictions with COVID cases falling statewide.
Yeah, the Lincoln-Lancaster County Health Department reported just 54 new infections yesterday. Douglas County had less than 100. Ricketts says, quote, "It's important that we pursue policies that let Nebraskans return to normal while continuing to live with the virus." And right now, Nebraska's 7-day rolling average is hovering around 364. At the start of the month, it was well over 2,000. Hospital officials stress while they appreciate fewer COVID patients, they're still struggling to handle all of the pandemic postponed procedures amid historic healthcare worker shortages.
New this morning, Grand Island Public Schools has announced it's returning to 5-day weeks and masks will not be required. This is all set to begin on Monday. The only time face coverings will be needed is when students are riding on buses. While masks will be optional moving forward, they are still recommended. Just last month, the district announced it was taking off several Fridays, including today, to help deal with an all-time high in absences. The superintendent sent a letter to families saying, quote, "We appreciate our community for the sacrifices they have made for the collective good of our students and staff and for the continued trust."
Well, National Guard units are deploying for an emergency many of them never expected this morning to help with teacher shortages across our country. Dozens of National Guard, Army, and Air Force troops in New Mexico have already been stepping in since January in 36 of the state's 89 school districts. Service members have traded in mission briefs for lesson plans. In some communities, there have been concerns raised about soldiers going in classrooms. Well, the Santa Fe School District says soldiers will not carry guns and will wear civilian clothes.
This morning, California has the nation's very first endemic virus policy. The governor's new plan emphasizes prevention and quick reaction to outbreaks over mandated masking and business shutdowns. It sets specific goals like stockpiling 75 million masks and establishing infrastructure to provide 500,000 tests a day in the event of an outbreak. The plan would also send an additional 3,000 medical workers to surge areas within 3 weeks.
Forward. We now move into a new phase of addressing the challenges and realities of this disease. We move out of the pandemic phase and we move into a phase which should allow you confidence that we are not walking away, that we're taking the lessons learned and we're leaning into the future. There are those that prefer to walk away, to deny the realities of the last few years, let the virus in all its forms and manifestations continue to take its course. That's not the approach we're arguing for. It's not the approach we're taking.
Despite the plan, for now, none of the dozens of remaining executive emergency orders in place across California will be lifted.
And right now in Nebraska, it's up to each school system whether or not to teach students about the Holocaust and other acts of genocide.
A bill making the rounds at the state capitol would require it, and John Kipper looks at why supporters are calling this absolutely critical.
As State Senator Jen Day of Omaha points out, the survivors of the Holocaust are passing away, and with that, their own memories of what happened.
Ignorance will only increase as it falls further into history.
That's one reason she wants a requirement in Nebraska public schools, educating all students on what happened in the Holocaust and other genocides. She was backed by many, including Mark Drywing, Chief of Staff for Congressman Don Bacon.
This important legislation is not just about the here and now. It speaks to future generations. It reveals what kind of people we are and what we intend to be.
The Anti-Defamation League says anti-Semitic incidents are rising nationwide and in Nebraska. And more people are comparing to the Holocaust to current events. Lawmakers comparing vaccine mandates to the Holocaust. In Nebraska just last year, we saw members of the public comparing the State Board of Education to Nazis for pushing an implementation of sex education in schools. Gary Nachman, Regional Director for the ADL, says these analogies take away the memory of all the lives lost.
Their deaths are in vain when people use them so loosely. And it's because of ignorance. And most of these are not done maliciously. They're done primarily out of ignorance.
Eleanor Dunning saw a classmate in college use a Nazi salute and refused to apologize for it. She said these requirements would give future generations basic knowledge to navigate the world.
I want to be here because I want to make sure that this never happens to another student.
Now there is evidence younger generations are losing touch with what happened in Nazi Germany. One example, a poll from 2018 showed 2/3 of millennials could not identify that the infamous Auschwitz concentration camp was indeed a concentration camp.
What is particularly shocking and disappointing about this decline in knowledge of the Holocaust is that it is a relatively recent event.
Social media has us more connected than ever and has been a great help during this pandemic, but many of us are still feeling isolated, especially at those school kids. For teens, the problems can be numerous, including everything from lack of sleep to poor body image. At Aurora High School, they're taking this issue seriously. Officials say the needs are so great, they now have a licensed mental health practitioner on staff.
Reaching out to our parents and teaching them how to communicate with our children, putting devices down, connecting with our kids, having those tough conversations.
Social media, if kids aren't eating well, aren't exercising, or aren't maintaining healthy relationships, it can affect mental and physical health. That's why Aurora High School recently paused classes to focus on mental well-being. The school's mental health therapist brought in other professionals to teach kids about ways to cope with anxiety and stress.
Today, President Biden is planning to host a closed-door meeting with European allies about Russia's possible invasion of Ukraine. This comes as President Putin is planning a meeting of his own today with the president of Belarus. The two countries have been participating in a massive joint military exercise that Western nations fear is really just a cover-up for war preparations. The State Department is now laying out a scenario of what could rapidly develop in the next few days.
Russian missiles and bombs will drop across Ukraine. Communications will be jammed.
Cyber attacks will shut down key Ukrainian institutions. After that, Russian tanks and soldiers will advance on key targets.
ABC News has also learned that Russian forces are stocking up on blood supplies this morning. Back here in the U.S., the Senate has passed a resolution affirming its support for Ukraine. It says our government should, quote, use the tools at its disposal to impose significant cost on the Russian Federation to restore peace in Europe. UNL has a worldwide reputation for keeping drivers safe.
Yeah, Channel 8's Nathan Grieve is live now to tell us about their latest idea.
UNL students and engineers and professors have some ideas to make roadways safer. Now, they have a couple ideas of just how they're going to do that, but the end goal is very clear.
Prevent collapse first and foremost, and hopefully loss of life that could result potentially, but hopefully not.
The way to do that isn't some huge leap of logic. A coat of armor could work wonders.
Basically, polyurea is epoxy paint, so it's the lining that you see in pickups. That's what it is.
It's also got the amazing property of getting stronger when it's stressed, which forms a kind of net around whatever it's painted onto. In this case, bridge supports.
Holding things together wouldn't necessarily mean that the pier would stand up after an event, but it absorbs a lot of energy by doing that. And so energy that could go into kind of taking apart pieces of the pier is now taken up by that net getting stronger.
Another plan with the same effect is a composite wrap. Imagine fiberglass. Now, both options have been through computer testing. Someday they could get real-world trials.
We want to make sure really that we are replicating an impact, an explosion, and then also including the fireball is what it's known. And so for us to do that, there are very few locations where we would be allowed to do that.
Now, there are some very preliminary talks about doing just that. And if all goes well, we could eventually be seeing yet another Nebraska safety innovation taking place all over the world.